I'm getting that these people know that they were wrong for how they did you. That's why they're avoiding you. The reason why things had existed for so long when you were dealing with these people and how they were abusing you and bullying you and just every single chance they got, they would just hurt you. It's like the bad outweighed the good. There were more times these people were rude and mean to you than they were nice and caring and loving towards you. And what happened is in that phase of your life, you were basically this doormat, this punching bag that allowed people to walk all over you, that allowed people to just take out their anger and frustrations out on you, and you didn't really stand up for yourself or defend yourself. And you basically allowed this to happen because you did not know how to defend yourself. You did not know how to stand up for yourself. You did not have a voice at the time. And whenever stuff would get difficult for you and you would get nervous, you would have moments where you would go silent. You would go into your freeze mode. And for those of you that are autistic, you would go nonverbal and you wouldn't understand this. And they knew for a fact that they were wrong, but it was like the fact that you weren't saying anything back to them or that you weren't really, defending yourself. That's why they thought they could just continue to just treat you any old kind of way. And they knew that they were wrong, but they're like, well, if she's allowing me to do it, or if he's allowing me to do it, if they are allowing me to do it, then I'm going to just go ahead and keep doing it because they're not going to do anything. What are they going to do? These people are bitches. They're bastards. They're fucking horrible ass people. And then now that you had you separated yourself because it was hard for you to process everything when all of this was going on. And then once you got yourself out of the situation and you allowed yourself to process everything, that's when you woke up to realize like this was fucked up, bro. Like this was not just no regular bullying. This was not just no regular growing pains. This was fucking abuse. These people were abusing me. And when you finally allowed all of this stuff to come up and all that rage came out and you allowed yourself to rage, you gave yourself room to rage. You wanted to lash out on these fucking people and you wanted to confront them. You basically want them to stand on what the fuck they did to you. It's like, y'all want to sit up here and treat me like shit? Okay, then stand on that shit. Admit what the fuck you did. But they can't do that because at the time of all of this happening, they felt like they were getting away with it because you weren't doing anything to stop it. You weren't doing anything to defend yourself. Even when you tried to separate yourself, they still went out of their way to come fuck with you again. But now that you're standing 10 toes down on your own fucking power and you're like, why don't you stand 10 toes down on what the fuck you did to me? Go ahead and admit the shit that you did to me. Stand on that shit. Keep that same energy. Now they're scared. Now they're silent. Now they're hiding. They're hiding because they wanted all of this to be done behind closed doors. They wanted all of this shit to be done without anyone finding out about it. And now that you're bringing this out to the forefront, they're scared. And it shows that the whole entire time you were much more powerful and stronger than they ever could be. Fuck them. Nah, because the thing is, baby, they can't even stand on what the fuck they did to you. They can't even stand on the fact that they was being an abusive person to you. They can't even stand on the fact that they know that they were bullies. They know that they were wrong. They can't even stand on that because these are the type of people where they like to throw a stone behind their hands. And these are the people that, oh, come on, spirit. These are the people that love to talk about everybody else's downfalls, everybody else's setbacks, everybody else's shortcomings, but they don't want to talk about the motherfucking skeletons in their own motherfucking closet. These are the same people that want to throw stones, but they live in a glass house. These are the same motherfucking people that they have so much shit that they didn't went through in their own lives, so many things that they have been through, so many things that they have gone through, so many times that they have been hurtful, so many times that they have been rude, so many times that they have been mean to other people. But then the one time you do something that's remotely close to what they have done, all of a sudden they want to shit all over you and act like it's the end all be all, act like it's the end of the fucking world, act like you just, did first degree murder or some shit like that. And it's like, bitch, the shit that y'all be doing to me and to others is way worse than what I had just did to you. But a lot of times, let me tell you, baby, a lot of times the issues that you all had faced with them was mere reactions and responses to the shit that they kept doing to you. It's like they wanted to sit up here and treat you any old kind of way, and they expected you to just sit there and fucking deal with it. They looked at you as if you were weaker than them. They look at you as if you were beneath them. And it's like, okay, well, look, now that you see that I have never been beneath you, I have never been below you, how I have never been inferior to you, why don't you go ahead and face me now? Why don't you go ahead and keep that same energy that you had back then? Have that same energy now. But no, they can't. They can't. Because you know why? Because the only reason as to why they had power is because they had to go to someone that couldn't defend themselves. They had to go against a defenseless person. Let me tell you something, baby. Just because you couldn't defend yourself doesn't mean that you didn't have the strength. Just because you couldn't defend yourself doesn't mean that you didn't have the power. Just because you couldn't defend yourself doesn't mean that you didn't have a voice, baby. You had a voice. You just had to awaken to it. You have always had a voice. You just had to tap into it. That's all it took. That's all it took. So basically, all of this shit happened because you weren't using your voice. But now that you are using your voice, now that you have something to say, now that you have something that you can, now that you have awakened to how horrible these people have treated you, and basically all you are wanting them to do is to just stand on what they did to you. Because it's like, if y'all was so big and bold and bad to do it then, you should be big and bold and bad enough to stand on that shit. But they can. And that's the difference between you and them. So yeah, you confronting them, you exposing their ass, you doing all of this shit, and they can call you immature, whatever the fuck you got. But at least you can stand on that shit. You can say, yes, and is I'm exposing their ass. And is I'm confronting their ass. At least I can stand on that shit. Because you're not harming the innocent. You're going against the people that came against you first. If they never would have came against you first, you wouldn't have this energy to begin with. Because they threw this heat on you, you're just throwing that heat back on their asses, bro.